Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Mediumcore. Starting off back in the market that's soon to be a heck of a lot bigger. In this episode of Minecraft Mediumcore, I want to build two more actual shops. I want to build one right here and one right here. I'm going to start with the one right here and fill in the gap between these two areas with a build. So I'm probably actually going to have to lift this area up a little bit, just like to here, so it's on more even terrain. It doesn't have to be perfectly even, but just enough so I can walk up to it, and then I can have it slope down the back here. And I want all the builds in I want all the actual shops themselves to look like similar to this, not the same build, but similar. And speaking of this build, I actually went ahead and did the interior. There's not a lot, just some carpet, some hanging flowers, a couple of shelves of stuff. I had to grab a Ender Dragon skull from an End Fortress, or End City, which was not fun. And then this is supposed to be like a magic sword. And then here's like where they store a lot of valuables. And then upstairs, it's split off into rooms. So that's the interior of this build actually complete, along with the exterior. And then I want to get started on this one. I actually have a design in mind and a block palette. It's going to be a bit of an out there block palette. It's going to look a bit weird, but I think I can make it work. So yeah, I'm going to get started on that right now. There's been many firsts in this playthrough. First Wither Skeleton Farm, first villager setup, first villager breeder, first iron farm, and now, the first time I've ever used acacia wood. And honestly, it doesn't look too horrible. And, it's similar to this one. It's basically, if I cut this one in half and then replicated it and then mirrored it. It's, I don't actually think it went too badly. It's also the same on the back, except for no door. And yeah, I think it looks pretty nice in this area. I went with a more dark on the bottom, light on the top, and I think the acacia wood actually looks good here. And for the roof, it's a mix of orange terracotta and smooth red sandstone. Of course, there's no interior yet. I will do the interiors for both builds at the very end, because interiors are very hard. But yeah, this is the next one. So this is just going to be, honestly, I'm not sure which one this one's going to be. They couldn't afford a sign. That's my excuse. They couldn't afford a sign, so I'm not quite sure what they'll be selling in there. Because that one's magical items. This one is going to be like books and supplies and tools. So this one could be, I don't know, actually. I'll have to think about that one, but yeah. So that's one out of the two down. Next up, I'm gonna plop one right here. And I have an idea in my head. It's going to be a lot darker, using a lot darker tones. And I have an idea for something that might look pretty good. We'll see. This one is definitely my favorite so far. I'm in love with how this turned out. I really like this one. I like the dark oak. I like the gray colors. I like the deep slate base. I like the tower. I love how it gives this nice corner corner curve, I suppose, just a little place to see something on display. A corner display leading into a nice big old tower. Bigger than that one, I think. Maybe? Actually, I think that one's taller. And then this one's got a sign, even though it's kind of hard to read. Books, trinkets, tools, etc. This one's not floating because it's not magical. Still no interior. Very much no interior. And like I said, I'll do the interior of these two at the very end, so I'll be doing that next. And yeah, that's this one. So that's number 2. And I think it turned out really well. The back is a bit bland, but it's the back. You're not supposed to see it a lot, so it's fine. I have to cover this up, but it's fine. And then in doing this, I've set up a little path with the perfect opportunity to split off and have a smaller build right here in this corner, adjacent to this one. And I'm excited to see how this area all ties together, because hopefully I should also be able to have something leading up to a small little, like, just a smaller build on this hillside, and then the secret entrance to the underground tavern in the hill. So that's what I'm planning on doing in the next episode, because I just am really enjoying building stuff in this area. I really like how these builds have looked so far, and I can't wait to bring more life into this area. So yeah, now I've got to get to working on the interior for these 2 builds. My interiors are a bit interesting, but I think they turned out quite well. I'll start over here. I didn't have a sign for this one, so I decided that it's going to be a lumber store. So at some point in the future, I'll probably build a lumber mill on the river, but they're selling oak, spruce, dark oak, and birch. Nothing fancy. And then upstairs, I've elected that it is only a 1-person house. They've got 2 sets of armor, and they've got a nice little bed with some flower pots, a little writing stand, some bookshelves, 1-person bed with a nice big old red carpet leading up to it, and then some flowers. This lumberjack likes flowers. He likes to garden. And yeah, nothing up in the ceiling, no attic or anything. And he doesn't have any like wardrobe or anything, because I guess all of his possessions are stored at the lumber mill, so they don't get stolen by unruly patrons of his store, which makes sense. It's probably me overthinking it, but yeah. And then this one is by far my favorite. Books, trinkets, tools, etc. Right off the bat, we got a nice little rug to wipe our shoes. We got some tools on the wall we can buy. Nice little counter here, nothing in the chest, but they're selling suits of armor, some anvils, a bunch of assorted goods, books, lots of books, and then this is just supposed to be like an advertisement for, I guess, rope, or just a nice decoration, because I honestly didn't know what to put here, so it's just got a candle spiral going all the way up, which when you actually look up it looks pretty bad, but looking at it from this angle looks decent enough. But yeah, there's a lot of work, and honestly, I kind of wish I had something better here, but I did not know what to do. But ultimately not too bad. And then the second story, the shop owner here has a wife, so they got a double bed, and then they have a double wardrobe, so they have pant storage and shirt storage, fitting for both of them. There's a little writing desk over here with a nice view of a graveyard, and then a little bookcase against the wall with like librarian ladders, a nice little potted plant, a lantern, and a good view of their other potted plants, and my only wither rose. I used my only wither rose for this. And then the view's gonna get obstructed by another build, but that's okay. So yeah, that's these two builds completed, and I'm actually really happy with how they turned out, especially this one. I think this build looks really cool. And I can't wait to finish up this area in the next episode by slapping a smaller build up here, and then a larger shop up here on this hill. So, with all that done, that's all I'm going to do for today's episode of Minecraft Medium Core. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.